Appropriately enough, I'm starting this walk on Marsh Lane. Marsh Lane leads off of Fairmile Road, which is the main road from Christchurch to the village of Herne. Lovely morning sunlight coming through the trees here, and a nice little bit of shade. Just here that Marsh Lane goes off to the right, and the road that goes straight on is Dudmore Farm Road. That was the one that takes you out to, obviously, Dudmore Farm. You can tell that where we are is a lot more rural now as I just step off Marsh Lane to have a quick look at these animal holding pens here. And also, if I swing round to the left here, this is known as Coward's Common. And we've got some lovely livestock here. Morning, morning. We're just entering a slightly more urbanised stretch now. This little stretch of footpath here that comes off Marsh Lane is following the route of the old Christchurch to Ringwood railway line that was closed as a result of the beaching report back in the early 1960s. Behind this hedge and fence here are the filtration pools for the water supply for Christchurch. Water is pumped out of the River Avon at the pump room just down here, which we're going to pass through very, very soon, and then is filtered in the pools behind me before being pumped up to the reservoir at the top of St Catherine's Hill. We're still on the urban edge of Christchurch, but as we approach the pump room and the old mill, we are coming out to this nice little park. That's the water filtration pools that I was talking about earlier. We're just passing through the pumping stations for the local waterworks. It's at this part of the walk where I very briefly joined the Avon Valley path for about 80 to 100 yards or so as we walk along the banks of the River Avon. It's here that I'm going to leave the Avon Valley path, which heads off up in that direction up there. And I'm going to go this way here, and this route here will take me to Burton. And that's my first view of Christchurch Priory. a spectacular view of Christchurch Priory over the other side of the railway line and between those power pylons. This is the first of two watercourses that I'm going to cross on this part of the journey. Both the watercourses come off the River Avon further upstream, and they meet up with each other before they rejoin the River Avon just outside Christchurch. I've nearly finished walking across the meadow, and seems like I've got a little bit of wildlife or whatever to contend with before I hit the main road. Got these two little donkeys looking very frisky in a field just here, and then up in front of me there's a couple of horses. Right, here goes. I've got a little bit of road walking to do to get me through the village of Burton, and then I will be heading towards the bridle path that will take me up towards Gus Common. Look at these lovely tall poppies here. They're beautiful, aren't they? This is the Oak Inn in Burton, which back in olden times, well, the 1970s, was a popular watering hole for local agricultural labourers. But here in the early part of the 21st century, much like fishermen in the village of Mudeford, agricultural labourers in Burton are few and far between. Some quite strange looking bungalows along here. They all seem to have these rather odd looking bits tacked onto them with the, well, I don't know what you describe it, kind of strange sort of roof, yeah? Most unusual. Just turned off Somers Lane and now walking along Hawthorne Road, which is going to take us up to the Bridleway. Can't help but notice these lovely wild flowers. We've got some beautiful purple foxgloves here. And then these daisies, massive giant daisies. And the poppies round here. They're looking absolutely spectacular, aren't they? Nice white foxglove just here. And this is a very nice looking purple poppy. I've made it onto the Bridleway. You may recognise this one from one of my previous videos when I walked from Christchurch to Sway. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see it on an iPhone, but right across there, right in the middle of the picture, that white building, that's right in the centre of Bournemouth. This footbridge takes me over the River Mude. Here at Amber Lane there is a ford over the River Mude, and I'm going to continue following the River Mude down through Mudeford Wood and finishing up in Peregrine Wood. I can hear the sound of the traffic getting louder and louder now as we approach the back of the Sainsbury's at the Summerford roundabout and the edge of the urban area of Christchurch. I think this horse rider's a little bit lost. Yeah, she was a little bit lost, to say the least. She'd taken the horse down to the beach and the horse wouldn't get back in the lorry. So she's got to try and make her way over to Herne, the other side of Christchurch, and she's loath to cross over the Summerford bypass. So she's going to try and go down through the town. Best of luck to her, eh? Nice little fishing lake right next to the River Mude, and in the background you can hear the sound of the local refuse tip. Just here is where the overflow from the fishing lake goes back into the River Mude. Loads and loads and loads of cow parsley. All of this making a nice shelter over the river. Now crossing between Mudeford Wood and Peregrine Wood, following the path of the River Mude, but it's been culverted here, and in fact it was culverted to make way for the runway that was used by the American Air Force squadron stationed here during the Second World War. And this is it, just crossed over de Havilland Road and now in Peregrine Wood, the end of the journey. I finished the walk here just as I approached the end of Peregrine Wood by Saxon's Landing. Hope you've enjoyed it. A walk across rural Christchurch, from Marsh Lane to Peregrine Wood in Mudeford.